And welcome back to the Michael J. O'Brien Court inside Pascack Hills High School in the main gym as we are set for round number 2 of 2 in tonight's girls basketball competition. It's the junior varsity Broncos taking on the JV Fort Lee Bridgemen, and the Broncos looking not to repeat what happened in the varsity game that I believe, or I hope you saw earlier today right here on the PH Athletics YouTube channel, your number one home for all of Pascack Hills sports. I'm Matthew Merlino. Thank you all for joining us this late afternoon, and we're ready to get underway. It's Brielle Siegenthaler in the middle with Olivia Kim as well. And we're underway, and it goes Pascack Hills' way. But Fort Lee's going to recover, and it looks like it'll be Jacqueline Martinez with it. Now it goes over to Kim. She'll give it over to Jamie West. Three ball is no good, or sorry, a long two. As Alexa Sipos will give it up to Sierra Camarena, who gives it over to Hannah Foley. She's going to pull up, no good. And Siegenthaler can't put it in off the rebound as well. It goes back Fort Lee's way. Ileana James with it. She's going to give it over to, I believe that's Catherine Shin, who gives it over to Jamie West. And now Martinez, but out of bounds. And Kim gonna keep it with her. Or sorry, it goes out. It's the Hills inbound here. Camarena back to Sipos. Gives it over to Foley into Siegenthaler. Now Foley. Look out to Sipos. Now Camarena look for three. Foley goes for three and good. So first points of the day, as with the varsity game, go to the Pascack Hills Broncos. They're up 3-0, but here comes Martinez. Gives it over to West. Blocked on the shot there. That was Olivia Kim, who looked for something, couldn't get anything. As Siegenthaler with it. Gives it over to Foley. Now Camarena over to Sipos for three, no good. And it's going to be rebounded by Fort Lee. James gives it over to Martinez, crosses over, gives it over to James, loses it, but West. And Camarena with the big steal there. Nobody to help. Now it's Diaz who has it. Gives it over to Camarena. Oh, big tip out there from Jamie West over Hannah Foley. It will be an inbound for the Broncos here. As Camarena over to Foley. Back over to Sipos for three, no good. Tipped, it goes back to Diaz and the Broncos. Now Foley keeps it in the same side of the court, over back to Alexa Sipos. She's going to give it to Camarena. Siegenthaler over to Foley. Now back to Camarena, who gives it back out to Foley, back to Sipos, back to Diaz now. And Sipos for three, it's no good once again. Still a 3-0 score almost halfway through the first quarter. To change that, no. And Diaz gets the rebound. Siegenthaler will take it up for the Broncos, and they'll reset. Gives it over to Diaz now. He's going to give it back to Foley. And back over to Sipos. Pass tipped out and ultimately goes the other way as Fort Lee almost loses it. No good on the layup, however, as Camarena will take it back. Sipos with it, looking to drive in as West covers. Now Diaz back out to Camarena. And now back out to Sipos. She's going to put up a layup, no good. Goes back to Fort Lee. Look at this. and one coming up for Jacqueline Martinez, makes the layup, and now a foul here, first of the night. And the foul goes on Sierra Camarena, as now 4 out of the 5 for Hills will come off Foley, Siegenthaler, Camarena, and Diaz. As Farrell, Maloney, Steffens, and Astrid Velazzo come on. One free throw is no good. It's rebounded by Fort Lee. And no good, or sorry, layup is good. So they take a 4-3 lead here. As Farrell takes it up, gives it over to Sippos. Now back to Maloney. Steffens with it now. Gives it over to Velazzo for 3, no good. And here comes another foul. It's once again to Martinez's benefit. And it goes on Velazzo, her first of the night. Here's 2 from the line for Martinez. And she'll make the first to make it a 2-point lead for the Bridgemen. And she'll make the second, so it's a 3-point lead for Fort Lee. 3 minutes 25 on the clock here in the first quarter. As Farrell takes it up, gives it out to Steffens, into Maloney. Back out. Velazzo for 3, no good. And all the way cross court, it's tipped. And Sippos gets it. Ooh, and Farrell's pass intercepted. As Kim takes it up, whistle here as we've got some trouble. We'll take a break here for just a moment. And we'll get back to things shortly. It was number 33, Laura Penuela, on the ground. She got up and was able to make it back to her bench safely. With 3 minutes left in the first quarter, the score is 6-3. Fort Lee Bridgemen lead the Pascack Hills Broncos by 3 points. It will be a Fort Lee inbound here, and it will be Jamie West with it. She'll give it into Jacqueline Martinez. And now Martinez driving in, but it's intercepted almost by Steffens. Jump ball coming here, however. And it will go Pascack Hills' way. So Farrell with the inbound to Talene Steffens here. And there it is. 2 minutes 50 and counting on the clock in the first quarter. As Farrell is going to give it over to Maloney. Now back to Farrell. Now back to Steffens in heavy coverage. Going to give it into Maloney, who has her layup blocked. Yet the pass is almost intercepted. Nevertheless, it's going to be Olivia Kim taking it up. She gives it to Jacqueline Martinez, and Fort Lee will reset. Tries to cross over, gives it into James, and now stolen by McKenna Farrell, who's going to give it into Maloney, and now Velazzo's going to be fouled here. Should be 2 from the line for Astrid Velazzo. And the foul will be on Ileana James, her first of the night and the first for Pascack Hills. The first for Fort Lee. 2 from the line for Velazzo. First one, no good. Just to clear things up, foul was on Fort Lee. Velazzo at the line now for just 1. She will make the second. That cuts the lead down to 2 here, but Fort Lee gets it back, and Martinez takes it up. As West will give it over to James, and now Martinez with a nice layup there to put the lead up to 4 now, as Farrell takes it up the court. He gives it over to Velazzo. Now Maloney for 2 is no good, and it's rebounded by Fort Lee. Kim up the court, but Velazzo's going to get it back for the Broncos. She's going to drive up all by herself, can't make the layup, and now it's rebounded by West. Tipped Velazzo out of bounds. As now 2 subs come in, Natalie Wynn, number 5, and Alexa Sippos come in for McKenna Farrell and Avery Maloney. So here we go, back out for Fort Lee. Jacqueline Martinez is with it. She's covered by Sippos. Now, travel's going to be called here on Olivia Kim. Shot would have been made, but here comes Sippos. Now Steffens back to Sippos. And it's going to be Steffens, no good. Rebounded by Olivia Kim here, and she'll give it to Martinez. Fort Lee will reset up by 4, 50 seconds and counting to go in the first quarter. As Kim into James, and now lost by Olivia Kim. It goes back. Pascack kills his way. Alexa Sippos takes it up. Now Maloney into Wynn for 2, no good. It's rebounded by James. She's going to give it to Martinez. Fort Lee resets, 20 seconds to go. Have to speed things up as Martinez drives in, puts it up, no good, and rebounded by Wynn. She'll give it over to Sippos, who only has 7 to shoot. Gives it in the corner to Velazzo, loses it. Steffens gets it back, gives it to Wynn. Shot, no good. That's how we'll end the first. Score line 8-4. It's the Fort Lee Bridgemen leading the Pascack Hills Broncos. Still 8 minutes left in the first half, and then a whole 16-minute half after that. We'll be right back from Pascack Hills. So we're ready to get back to some action here. 8-4 is the score. We'll start with 8 minutes to go in the second half. Looks like the entire starting 5 for Pascack Hills is on. Aside from Madison Espinoza, I apologize, who is on for Pascack Hills. The foul here. Fouls on Hannah Foley, her first tonight. 2 shots here from Olivia Kim. She'll miss the first. And makes the second to make it now a 5-point game. Espinoza on the inbound gives it to Sierra Camarena. And now Camarena is going to give it to Hannah Foley into Brielle Siegenthaler, who pulls up from the foul line, gets it in. Camarena was there to rebound, didn't need her to get it though, went in. And now Hill's only down by 3. Martinez takes it up the court, gives it to Olivia Kim. And now over to Ileana James with a pass straight to Brielle Siegenthaler, Pascack Hill. She's going to give it to Camarena, who is going to be called for a travel here. And now Martinez with it. He's going to give it to West for 3. It's no good. And a fall here. It looks like it'll be a foul. Martinez was the one who fell. And now the second straight foul on Hannah Foley. In comes Christine Diaz for Hannah Foley. Only player running on multiple fouls right now. Hills with 4. Fort Lee only with 1, and they're up by 3. As James on the rebound, cannot get the layup, but it looks like it'll go out on Hills, and yes, that is the call. So West with it now. Jamie West on the inbound for the Fort Lee Bridgemen. She's going to give it over to Martinez, gives it over to West. And now out to James, can't make it. Back out to James. She is going to keep it with her, then gives it on a nice bounce pass to, I believe that was Kim, but then it goes out on the pass to Jamie West. It will be an inbound for Fort Lee here. West with it once again. And now Martinez now over to West, who's going to miss. It goes out. It goes back to Fort Lee. 3rd time it's gone out in a row, and 3rd time in a row it's gone out to Fort Lee. So West once again, this time gives it into Martinez. Martinez gives it to West, who's going to pull up for 3, or a long 2, sorry, no good, and it's rebounded by Christine Diaz. She'll take it up the court, spins around, gives it to Camarena, who gives it over to Espinoza. Long 2 there, it's no good. And it is rebounded by Ileana James, who will take it up, then gives it to Jacqueline Martinez, who gives it over to Olivia Kim. Lost it, and she traveled there. And now Espinoza on the inbound to Sierra Camarena here. Gives it over to Diaz. Now back to Siegenthaler for 3. It is good. And that, no, sorry, it was a very long 2. Must have had her feet on the line or something. That will make it just a 1-point game here, as Martinez with it for the Bridgemen. As Kim. And it's intercepted by Diaz, who gives it over to Camarena. Once again, a 1-point game. 5 minutes to go in the half. It's tipped, goes back the other way. Ileana James to Martinez, up to West, who puts it up and gets one. So that makes it now a 3-point game, as Diaz with it, trying to drive in. He's going to give it out to Espinoza, gives it into Camarena, gives it to Diaz, trying to wrestle it away, gives it back to Camarena. Now Siegenthaler drives in, can't make it, gets her own rebound, now puts it back up, and can't make it once again. Now it goes over to Fort Lee. As Martinez cannot keep it in, and it will go Pascack Hills' way. McKenna Farrell ready to come in here for Sierra Camarena. Espinoza into Farrell. Farrell for three, no good, and it's rebounded by Ileana James. She's going to give it over to Martinez, and the Bridgemen will once again reset up by 4 minutes to go in the half. Martinez over to West now for three. It is in and out, no good, rebounded by Diaz. She gives it over to Farrell, who will take it up the court. Farrell spins around, loses it, gets it back, puts it up. No good. Rebounded by Diaz. Gives it back out to Farrell. Long two is no good. In and out once again. But Diaz fights for the rebound once again. Gives it out to Espinoza, who gives it into Farrell. Is going to be called for a travel here. 3 minutes 29 on the clock. And it looks like a timeout for Fort Lee here. That's the first of the night. Leaves them with just two. And we'll be right back after this short break. So we're ready to get back to it after that short break. 3 minutes 29 on the clock. Scoreline is 11-8. The Broncos losing by 3 to the Fort Lee Bridgemen, and it looks like the Bridgemen will have the inbound here. And they will. It looks like Jacqueline Martinez will have it, and Jamie West off the inbound. It's Martinez with it. She's going to drive in, gives it out to James, who gives it out to West for three. And it looks like West will go to the line for two. Foul is on Madison Espinoza, her first of the night, and the fifth team foul for the Broncos. First one is made by Jamie West. She'll get another one. 12-8 now the score. So, off the rebound, off the no-good free throw, it is Farrell. Now Siegenthaler. Now it's Farrell. Over to Siegenthaler, layup no good, but she is fouled on that one. Siegenthaler's first is good. 12-9 is the score, as Steffens comes on for Madison Espinoza. Siegenthaler just can't get that second one to fall, and it goes Fort Lee's way. And now Martinez over to James, who's going to lose it as Farrell gets it. And she'll bring it up for the Broncos. Into Siegenthaler, who loses it. It goes out, and it goes Fort Lee's way. As now Martinez takes it up the court. Martinez gives it over to James, and now Martinez is going to be fouled here. 2 shots coming for number 31, Jacqueline Martinez. Foul is on McKenna Farrell, her first of the night. And the first one is missed. And now 4 out of the 5 will come off for Pascack Hills. It will be, all 4 will come out. I apologize, but we are playing 4 players tonight. I tried to ask the refs, they wouldn't answer me, so I'll try and ask them again for you all. Second one is made by Martinez, but it's a lane violation here, so looks like the basket won't count. So it will be a 9-12 score line. Sipos will give it into Natalie Wynn. Back to Sipos now to start things off. So Sipos over to Foley. Now Velazzo is going to pull up and gets one. So that shortens the lead now down to 1 for the Bridgemen. They are going to take it up the court. Jacqueline Martinez with it. She's going to get a screen there from Kim, who's going to get the ball herself, and now gets it back over to Martinez. Pass is intercepted by Velazzo. Has the ball stolen now, and Martinez gets it back. Martinez crossing over. It's going to go out, and it will go Fort Lee's way. West looking for an inbound, gives it to, that is Kim on the 3, rebounded by Ileana James, and she makes a contested layup there to put Fort Lee up by 3. Win back to Alexa Sipos here, gives it back over to Foley. Now Foley keeps it with her, almost loses it there and falls on the floor. Travel called here on Fort Lee. Was Ileana James with it. So it'll be an inbound here in a dangerous position for the Broncos. As Sipos over to Wynn, loses it. It goes to Fort Lee, and they'll take it. Kim up to Martinez, who is going to drive in all by herself, misses the layup, tipped up once, twice. It goes now back out to Fort Lee, and Kim into Martinez, drives in, physical. The foul will be on Alexis Sipos. Her third, as we try and get some things sorted. As Farrell, Camarena, Espinoza, and Maloney will come in for Foley, Wynn, Sipos, and well, with all of this, we've neglected to mention the element of time. There's now 50 seconds to go in this first half here as Martinez drives in. And a foul on Sierra Camarena, her second tonight. 8 fouls for the Broncos. That allows for a bonus for Fort Lee, and Martinez on the 1-and-1. Is going to miss it. It is rebounded by Fort Lee, however, and no good from Jamie West. Rebound layup is no good as well, as James, never mind, Farrell's going to take it up for the Broncos. Gives it into Maloney, turns around, shoots, no good. Rebounded by Martinez. She'll take it up the court all by herself, covered by Camarena, all the way over to West now. She's going to miss the layup. Farrell, as Camarena now with just 5 to shoot, as you can hear from the countdown. It goes out of bounds, 3.4 on the clock, and it looks like it will go Pascack Hills' way. Farrell with 3 seconds to shoot. Same for the 3 other Broncos on the court. Tipped back out and onto the scorer's table. No damage. It will be an inbound here for the Broncos once again. Camarena with it. Gives it over to Farrell, who takes the long three, misses it, and that will end our first half of play here. Score is 14-11, a competitive one between Fort Lee and Pascack Hills. The Bridgemen lead the Broncos. You're watching PH Athletics, your home for Pascack Hills sports. We'll be right back after halftime. And so we're ready to get back to action here. We'll have 16 minutes to go in regulation time. Obviously, the possibility of overtime still in this three-point contest at the moment. That would leave us with 4 overtime periods. We'd play as much as we'd need. And that explanation that I said I'd get to you about the 4-player scenario, well, after that injury to Laura Penula on Fort Lee only had 4 players to play, so Pascack Hills being sportsmanlike, and also playing for. One of those four, Astrid Veloso, taking it up. She gives it to Siegenthaler, who has the pass tipped, keeps it in bounds, and now gives it back to Diaz. Ooh, loses it off a little bit of a shove there, and now cross court to Siegenthaler, who puts it up no good. Rebounded by Diaz, gives it out to Siegenthaler. And we got a whistle here. Looks like it'll be a foul on Fort Lee. And it is Jamie West with her first foul of the day, and surprisingly, that seems to be only the second for Fort Lee here. Siegenthaler gives it into Steffens. Steffens back to Siegenthaler, back over to Diaz. Back to Siegenthaler for three. It is no good. Rebounded by Veloso, who can't get anything. Diaz's shot, no good. And it'll be two from the line for Diaz. Foul is now on Olivia Kim, her first of the night. Diaz will make the first here. Cuts the lead down to 2. And now to try and make it 1. And does. So it's a 1-point lead now for Fort Lee. And it is West into Martinez, who will take it up the court. Gives it over to Kim. Now looking to drive in. Gives it over to Ileana James, who's going to make a layup there, and it'll be now a 3-point game. As Veloso back to Steffens on the inbound. He's going to give it into Diaz, and now Veloso. And Veloso with the layup now. Once again, lead down to 1. As Martinez now will take it up. He's going to cross over, gives it tipped by Siegenthaler, goes out of bounds, and it goes Fort Lee's way.
On the inside, good.
Martinez with it.
Stay on the inside, don't lose your team.
Ooh, pass is tipped by Veloso. She's going to give it over to Siegenthaler. Tries to put it up, no good. Veloso on the rebound, gets it, and the Broncos will take a 1-point lead. James gives it into Martinez. Fort Lee takes it up, down for what seems to be the first time tonight. Martinez over 2. That was Kim, who's going to be fouled here by Astrid Veloso, which I believe is her second today. So 2 shots coming for Jamie West. She'll miss the first one here. And Camarena will come in for Tallene Steffens. No good on the second free throw. Tip in is no good, but the layup off the rebound is good from Ileana James. Is now Veloso back to Camarena to take things up. Gives it back over to Veloso. Now into Diaz. Is going to have ball almost stolen. Now Siegenthaler with it. Out to Camarena. Dribbling, trying to spin around. Gives it back over to Siegenthaler. Now back over to Veloso. Into Christine Diaz. Back out to Veloso now. She's going to put it up, no good. And rebounded by James. She'll take it up, gives it up to Martinez, covered by both Diaz and Siegenthaler, and it looks like it'll be a travel here. Goes Pascack, Hills his way. And Camarena will inbound, it looks like, to Astrid Veloso. And Avery Maloney subs in for Brielle Siegenthaler here. 5 minutes, 18 on the clock in the third quarter. 18-17 the score. Fort Lee with a 1-point lead, but the Broncos with the ball. Camarena gives it over to Maloney. Now into Diaz. Is going to be fouled here. Can't get the layup to fall, but is fouled. Foul will be on Ileana James, her second of the night. And 2 from the line for Diaz here. First one is good. We're all tied up. And the second one is good. Diaz single-handedly puts the Broncos up by 1. And Martinez will take it back up the court. Over to James. Now back into Kim here, and she will be fouled. The foul will be on Maloney. Believe her first. So 2 from the line for Olivia Kim. And she'll make the first to tie things up once again here. Just under 5 minutes to go in the third quarter. And misses the second free throw as now Diaz gives it over to Camarena. Back over to Veloso, now into Diaz. And stolen by Fort Lee. Here comes Olivia Kim. Martinez tried to put it up, had it blocked, and now rebounded by Maloney. Maloney gives it up to Camarena. Pass is tipped, but Maloney gets it back, and now Diaz, and now Camarena. No good, and it's rebounded by Olivia Kim here. She's going to give it up to Martinez. And now Martinez over to Kim. Gives it over to James, and now James puts it up. No good. But it is rebounded by James, who cannot put it back up, and now Camarena is going to fall here and will be called for a travel. In comes Alexis Sipos for Astrid Veloso. A timeout for the Bridgemen here. That'll leave them with 2 to go. 3 minutes 50 on the clock. We'll see you in about a minute. So here we go, ready to get back to some action now. 3 minutes 50 to go in the third quarter. We're all tied up at 19 here. Looks like it will be an inbound for Fort Lee, if I'm not mistaken. And I am not, so it will be Jamie West on the inbound. Looks like she'll give it to Jacqueline Martinez. And Martinez will take it up. Clock rolls once more. Martinez has the ball stolen by Diaz, and now Camarena takes it up the court, goes out of bounds, and it will go Fort Lee's way. And Martinez will take it back up. Still with it now. Gives it over to Kim. And it's stolen by Avery Maloney. She's going to give it back to Alexis Hippos. And the Broncos will reset. Now Diaz over to Maloney. And good for two. Broncos take a 2-point lead. Now West into Martinez. Puts up a long two. It's no good and rebounded by Sippos. Sippos gives it into Diaz, but it's stolen by West, who gives it up to Martinez all by herself. Puts up the layup and good to tie things back up once more. Now Camarena. Over to Sippos. Now Diaz. And he's going to get called for a travel while falling here. And Wynn will come in for Christine Diaz here. Martinez takes it up for the Bridgemen, as now just 2 minutes remain in the third quarter. And up and over the head of Olivia Kim, who does very well to keep it in, but Maloney will get it for the Broncos, gives it up to Camarena, who gives it back to Maloney. Now over to Sippos. Now Wynn in the paint, gives it out to Camarena. Now Maloney for a long two. It's no good and rebounded by Olivia Kim. And Martinez. Now Camarena is going to get called for being out of bounds here, but it will be an inbound pass for Pascack Hills. Nope. Never mind. It'll be an inbound for the Bridgemen. And they're going to give it to Ileana James, who puts up the layup. It's no good. Fight for the rebound is going to be negated by a jump ball call here. It will go to Fort Lee. And now just a minute 27 to go in the third. West. Inbound is tipped and rebounded by Alexis Sippos. Now Sierra Camarena with it. Camarena looking to go. Gives it to Sippos. Now gives it to Maloney. Into Wynn. Camarena was there as well. Now Maloney with it. Gives it over to Sippos. Gives it over to Maloney. Lightning quick into Wynn. No good on the layup there. Out to Martinez. She'll take it up for the Bridgemen. Under a minute to go in the third. Then 8 more minutes in the fourth. And possibly overtime, as we are tied at 21. As Martinez gives it over to Kim, who gives it to Ileana James. She's going to drive and gives it out to Kim. No good on that one. It is rebounded by Jamie West, and jump ball goes Pascack Hills' way. 32.6 on the clock. And now Sippos with the inbound will give it to Sierra Camarena. That's the deal. Gives it back to Sippos now. 30 to shoot. And counting. As Sippos over to Maloney. Back over to Sippos now. Puts up the long two. It's no good. Rebound layup by Maloney is no good. Tipped out and it goes Fort Lee's way. Martinez loses it off the shoe of Camarena. And Wynn keeps it with her somehow in triple coverage, but now Fort Lee's going to get it. Martinez is taking it up, puts it up and in. Layup is good. 1-0, and that will end the third quarter. It is Fort Lee taking a 2-point lead right at the end of the third quarter to go up 23-21. We've got 8 more minutes of regulation basketball coming up, and you'll see it right here on PH Athletics, your #1 home for Pascack Hills sports. So a few changes for the Broncos here as they come back on the court with 8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. It is now Christine Diaz, Brielle Siegenthaler, Madison Espinoza, and Hannah Foley on the court as the Bridgemen will trot out once again the same four of James, Martinez, West, and Kim. So it'll be West into Martinez to start things off in the fourth. And she's going to lose it off the shoe this time of Hannah Foley. Now gives it up to Kim, who crosses over, puts it up, no good. And Diaz gets the rebound for Pascack Hills. He's going to give it to Hannah Foley, gives it over to Espinoza, into Diaz now, out to Siegenthaler, puts up a three ball, it's no good, and rebounded by Fort Lee, but Jamie West, who did get the rebound and tried to dribble up, is called for a travel. And now an inbound for Pascack Hills, Madison Espinoza with it. She'll give it to Hannah Foley, and we'll start once again. Foley over to Siegenthaler, into Diaz, who loses it, and it's rebounded by James, who gives it up to Martinez. Martinez looking for somebody, gives it over to Kim, who gives it to James, into Kim on a nice pass. Layup is no good, and it's rebounded by Diaz. And now Espinoza will take it up. Espinoza over to Siegenthaler, tipped, but it goes back right to her. Back over to Foley. Gives it into Diaz. Now out, but it's intercepted by Martinez. And Espinoza trying to block the pass, falls down, and the layup is good. From Jamie West there, layup is good, and now Foley into Espinoza. Hills down by 4. As Diaz turns around to Siegenthaler for 3, in and out, no good. But Foley with the rebound, gives it out to Diaz. No good on the rebound layup. And now it goes back to Fort Lee as Martinez takes it up the court once again. Crosses over, gives it out to James there, but Foley gets it and gives it back to Diaz. Now Foley. Over to Espinoza, into Diaz, good pass there, layup, no good, but she's going to be fouled. And the foul's going to be on Kim, her second of the night, and it'll be 2 from the line for Christine Diaz here. 2, both would cut the lead to only 2. First one is good, lead is cut to 3. Second one in and out, no good. Lead is still at 3 as Fort Lee gets it back. Martinez with it. Almost gets the pass intercepted there, but yet Fort Lee stays with it. And it looked like Kim went up. Foul is called, and it's going to be, it looks like, on Christine Diaz. 1 on Diaz. 2 shots coming for Olivia Kim. First one is no good. All important second shot with Hills down by 3. And now Kim misses the second. Espinoza with the rebound, and here comes Diaz. Espinoza into Diaz now. Back to Espinoza, and now over to Foley. Foley drives in, tries to put it up now, gives it over to Siegenthaler, who can't haul it in, and it will go out. Both Steffens and Maloney come on in for Espinoza and Hannah Foley. And here comes an inbound for Jamie West and the Fort Lee Bridgemen. She'll give it in to Jacqueline Martinez, who takes it up. 5 minutes to go in regulation time. Hills down by 3. As West looking to drive in, puts up the layup, and good. 5 minutes on the dot to go, as now a 5-point lead for the Bridgemen. Steffens with the inbound to Siegenthaler. And now tipped. And it goes back to Fort Lee. Martinez trying to take it up, covered by Maloney. Gives it over to West, who is called for a travel. And now 4 minutes 38 on the clock. It's a 5-point lead for the Fort Lee Bridgemen, but the Broncos have an inbound coming. Diaz, it looks like, will give it to Steffens, and will begin again. Steffens to Maloney, pass tipped and intercepted as Martinez will take it back. And the pass tipped once again by Diaz, and a foul coming here. It's going to be a foul on Maloney, her second of the night. Two shots for Jacqueline Martinez. Misses the first, and now McKenna Farrell will come in for Talene Steffens. Missed the first, Martinez with the second one. And it is good, so Martinez and the Bridgemen will take a 6-point lead as Farrell gives it into Siegenthaler and back out to Farrell. Back over to Siegenthaler, now all the way over to Diaz, who's trying to drive and loses it. Gives it out to Maloney, shoots from the elbow, no good. And it is James. Now over to Martinez, almost stolen by Maloney. And it is stolen by Diaz, who loses it. And it looks like a foul here. Foul's going to be on James, her third. And Diaz with the inbound to Farrell.
31.
And we apologize, foul was on Jacqueline Martinez. That's her first tonight. And so Farrell takes it up the court, gives it over to Siegenthaler, who gives it cross court to Diaz. Now back to Farrell for three, in and out, no good, and it's rebounded by Kim. And she'll take it up the court for the Bridgemen. Puts up the layup and good. That takes a 30-22 lead, 8 points now the deficit for Hills, and it's starting to get out of reach. As Farrell over to Siegenthaler, pass tipped and out of bounds. And it will go, looks like Fort Lee's way maybe, as Velazzo comes in. Now it's going to go Pascack Hills' way. As Siegenthaler, Maloney comes in for Farrell. Siegenthaler looking for the inbound. Now Maloney, and now Velazzo, no good. And Maloney out to Diaz. Gives it out to Siegenthaler for a long two and good. That makes it now a 6-point deficit. Not over just yet, as now Martinez takes it up the court. Gives it over to Ileana James, who's going to get her shot blocked. It goes out and it goes Pascack Hills' way. So it's Velazzo on the inbound to Diaz, and now back to Velazzo here. Just under 3 minutes to go in regulation time. Siegenthaler into Maloney. Layup is good. And now it's just a 4-point deficit for Pascack Hills. Here's Martinez. Crossing over, looking for somebody. Gives it over to Kim. And now West is going to miss the layup. It's going to be rebounded by Maloney and the Broncos. Maloney over to Velazzo, over to Siegenthaler, who misses it, and it goes out. As West will inbound it here for the Bridgemen on the baseline. 2 minutes 23 to go in the fourth quarter. As Martinez takes it up the court. Crosses over, drives in, tries to put it up by herself, but Maloney gets it. And nobody, the pass to nobody there. And James gonna put up the layup, no good. Rebounded by Olivia Kim, now out to West, and now Martinez drives in, puts it up, and good. Back to a 6-point deficit here. As Diaz over to Veloza. Now Diaz once again and loses it. It goes out of bounds, minute 39 to go. As West looking for the inbound. Ciara Camarena going to come on in for Astrid Velozo. West over to Martinez. Ooh, loses it, and Siegenthaler's going to get it. On her knees, gives it to Camarena, now out to Diaz, and now Camarena looking for somebody. He's going to give it to Maloney. And Maloney gives it over to Diaz, back over to Siegenthaler for three, no good. And Kim, now Martinez, trying to run out as much clock as possible. Just about a minute to go in the fourth here. Rebound and good, as Ileana James missed on the first layup, gets her own rebound and makes it. Under a minute to go. It's an 8-point lead for Fort Lee. Might be over. As Diaz gives it over to Camarena, now 45 seconds, no good. And it looks like it will go, it'll be a foul, and it's going to be on Diaz, her second of the day. .34 or 39.4 seconds on the clock. It's an inbound coming for Fort Lee here. And a 30-second timeout charged to Fort Lee. We'll be right back after it. So here we go. Let's get back to it. 39.4 seconds on the clock. It's 34 to 29, or 34 to 26. The score line here. The Bridgemen lead. There's now an inbound for Fort Lee coming once they get back on the court. We're in the fourth quarter here. Less than 40 seconds to go. As it'll be Kim with it on the inbound. Who will she go to? That is the question. And she'll go to Martinez, who almost loses it on the coverage from Camarena. Gives it over to West, and the pass out of bounds. It goes Fort Lee's way here. Siegenthaler on the coverage. And that was Kim on the inbound, gives it out to Martinez. Ball goes over to the Fort Lee bench. And the same thing. Up. Nope. It's a foul here on Camarena, her third. Here we go. Kim with it on the inbound, under 30 to go. Gives it out to James. Covered by Camarena, now Martinez, who's going to lose it. And Diaz fighting, gets it, falls down, tries to give it out to Camarena, gets it out to Siegenthaler, and Siegenthaler's pass to Maloney is intercepted. And that looks like it'll be how we end it here. 3.4 on the clock, a foul on Camarena, or fourth. So 4 fouls on Camarena here. Bonus for Fort Lee. Free throw no good on the 1-and-1. Siegenthaler gets it down to end it. No good on the 3/4 of the court shot. So the final score in this one, 34-26. It's the Fort Lee Bridgemen defeating the Pascack Hills Broncos. And that means 2 losses for the Broncos at home this Thursday, January 19th evening. So for now, this is Matthew Merlino for the PH Athletics YouTube channel, your #1 home for Pascack Hills Athletics. Coming up in Pascack Hills sports, if you're interested, nothing tomorrow. Saturday, we've got a ice hockey varsity game at the Sport-O-Rama in Muncie, New York. That's Saturday at 9:15. Then Sunday, the Bergen County Tournament right here at Pascack Hills. To be determined time on Sunday. No, sorry, that's at Rockland Community College. Excuse me. All this information can be found on the Pascack Hills website if you navigate to the athletics and then the schedules tab. We'll be back here on Tuesday for more girls basketball action. For now, though, this is Matthew Merlino for the PH Athletics YouTube channel, your home